Hi, I'm Andrew Wasson. Thanks for joining me for my weekly guitar blog. It's May 17th, 2015, and this week we're going to do a lesson covering upper string chord sweeps. And this week's question was sent in from Carl. He's out in Abbotsford, British Columbia, and he wrote in with this email. I need some help with getting better at sweeping through upper string chords. My sweeps are really choppy and they don't flow very well. Also, most of my favorite sweep sounds are involving a slide idea with them that connects into another chord. Steve Vai is one of my favorite players who does this. Could you show a few small sweeps I could practice to help me get good at doing these? From Carl in Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. Well, thanks for writing in, Carl. You know, when most guitar players begin the practice of sweeping through chords, they experience problems keeping the sweep smooth. Now, the pick hand needs quite a lot of work in order to maintain a smooth rake of the pick across the strings so that the motion has a really good continuity and it stays in time. So in this lesson, I'm going to break down a number of the different exercises that sweep across chords and offer a number of ways for connecting one chord pattern into another chord pattern. Well, in my first example, I'm going to work with a serious focus placed on getting a really smooth downward sweep. And the downward movement is going to be followed up by a slide that's going to move both forward and backward. And that's going to happen on the uppermost chord tone of the sweep. It's a fairly simple idea here, but you know, if sweeping's new to you, this idea was going to take a little bit of control to maintain a nice smooth sweep technique. So first of all, here's how it sounds. And it's going to go kind of slower there for you so you can check it out. So the pick is going raking across in downward motion, just like that. You just have the slide on top. So here it is one more time. And just take your time with it, use a metronome, really watch that sweep as how the pick is raking across. You want a nice smooth rake like that. Hold the pick lightly between your fingers and just maintain real steady control like that. In my next example, I'm going to work through a small 3-string G major chord and an E minor chord. These chords are going to move with a first string slide to connect them. Then, so they'll have a downward sweep once again. Nice even downward sweep. Keep your picking hand steady with the pick at a slight angle. You know, you don't want to have it at, I kind of keep mine at a little bit of a backward angle when I do sweep picking. And just stay relaxed with the movement. You don't want to grip the pick too tight, you know, so it's going to get caught up on the strings. Just have it very loose between your fingers. You know, you don't want to drop it or anything, but just make sure that it's got a loose grip, and then you can do the sweeps fairly easy that way. So here it is one more time. It's a really nice sound. It's capturing the sound of that G major chord and that E minor chord. Well, in my next idea, I wanted to go ahead and begin adding some upward sweeps into the whole mix. In this example, the sweep down will also add on another string, and it's going to cover 2 chords. It's going to have a C major, and it's also going to have a small diminished shape that's going to show up. B diminished in that case. And you know, once again, it's going to be connected by slide technique, but this time on the 3rd guitar string, so it's going to be kind of a lower string slide idea there. It's going to be, you can hear those drop downs on that 3rd string. Now the upward sweeps here are going to be quite short. It's just going to cover a couple of strings coming upwards across them. And you're going to want to remember to keep your picking hand steady with the pick at a slight angle on the opposite way coming, you know, on the up strum. So you want to tilt the angle of the pick the opposite way for the upward sweeps. It's going to make it a lot easier on the hand. And again, not very tight grip on that pick. Have it be fairly smooth or loose, pardon me, between the fingers of the thumb and the first finger. And just stay relaxed with the movement. Now the whole thing is going to go like this. I'll play it again very slowly. very cool sound. Now, it's much harder to do this with a clean channel guitar sound. So, another recommendation I'd have for you is practice it both clean channel sound as well as with some distortion. You'll find the distortion is going to give you a lot of extra sustain. Put some overdrive on your amp. It's going to feel a lot easier to do this stuff like that. And as always, use a metronome. And just go nice and slow like that in the beginning. Get the feel of how this hand has to go and do the sweeping exercise of it. The right hand usually can track fairly easy. This hand's pretty quick. It's pretty decent. But, it's going to be being able to follow and get those perfect sweeps with that right hand. So that's where all the practice is going to have to go into. Well, for my last example, I'm going to work through a series of chords from the key of C major, starting up from the 4th chord, which is F major, dropping down to the E minor, then to the D minor, the 2nd chord, and then the tonic chord of C major, finishing things off. So the chords are going to be fairly localized. We're just working between the 4th and the 2nd strings, and slides are going to connect each one like this. So we're going to have that slide idea. First is moving on the 2nd string, and then we have it moving down on the 4th, and then on the 2nd again, 10 to 8, and then just finishing off from 10 to 9. So going like this. And the idea with the sweep technique, as we've talked of before, just have that nice ascending, descending rake technique and just keep close watch on the angle of that pick, maintain an even sound and an even sweep across both down and up sweep movements. Keep the pick in the right angle all the time. Remember, you have to change that angle as you do your downstroke and your upstroke. Really maintain that. And just go nice and easy and work with a metronome. And get a nice smooth sound. Take your time with it. It's a really neat sound. Put a little bit of distortion or overdrive on your amp. Sounds like a very cool concept going over from one position to the next. You have a lot of fun with that one. Sweeping across small triad shapes can be a very cool sound, and it's one that can be applied in both melodies and, of course, in guitar solos. And, the sweep techniques, though, they're just not exactly easy to perform, so they'll require quite a bit of practice to have them eventually sounding quite smooth and be flowing. And also, when it comes to connecting the chords, those slides that we made some examples of are a great way to link the shapes and, slide from one chord over to another. It really helps in generating a fluid sound from one triad to the next. So work on all these examples slowly, use a metronome, and try to maintain the best uniformity across the sweep. Over time, of course, the sweeps will get better, but it will probably take quite a bit of time, although eventually, I guarantee you, if you practice them, you'll find yourself using these ideas in all kinds of different ways in your guitar playing. Anyway, that's about all the time I have for today. As always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if possible, consider a small donation to help fund this guitar lessons project. Otherwise, have yourself a really good week, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now. My Blues Guitar Styles ebook is a masterclass course covering a huge amount of information with 8, 12, and 16 bar blues progressions, classic blues styles, plus all the important chord patterns. There's over 50 pages of information, including sections on blues techniques like slide, alternate tuning, and bending. This ebook has everything the guitar player needs for a solid foundation in blues guitar, including 27 MP3 audio tracks for easy at-home study. Blues Guitar Styles is available for instant download in the View Our Products area at creativeguitarstudio.com.